You can make a difference in the lives of local children. CASA of South Central Kentucky proudly presents Boogie Down Bourbon Street 2021 Virtual Edition, presented by Hancock Bank and Trust. Now your hosts, Julie Milam and Jana Sublett.
Welcome to the 4th annual Boogie Down Bourbon Street to benefit CASA. I am joined with our good friend, Jana Sublett, Director of CASA. Jana, we are so excited to kick off this year's virtual event.
Yes, us too. Thank you guys, WNKY, for being a partner in this.
Couldn't think of a better place to be.
Yeah.
Tell us about Boogie Down. Tell us what it means to CASA.
So a few things about Boogie Down is this is our 4th year. Of course, it looks a little different this year, not being able to do the in-person event, but you know, we felt it was important to continue the momentum that Boogie Down's had the last 3 years. So, you know, make sure to check out in 2022. We're going to be back in full business at that time, and also want to make sure that we have the ability to make sure that the community knows how important the money that we raise that night is to CASA, and our, you know, ability to reach more vulnerable children and advocate for more kids. Also want to make sure that people that don't know what CASA does has a little bit better idea about what we do. And, you know, if we can walk away from tonight with a few more volunteers, that's going to be awesome.
That's right, Jana. We want to make sure all of you participate this evening, so make sure you engage with us on Facebook Live and make sure that you watch the screen so that you can be a part of our Boogie Down. Boogie Down and CASA would not be as successful as they are without the support of our community partners. And our community partner of the year this year is our long-term sponsor and supporter, Hancock Bank. We're going to throw it to them right now. This is Aaron Woosley.
Hancock Bank joined CASA because we realized it was a quality institution and foundation that was providing a necessity to our community and helping the children. To us, CASA means doing the right thing for people in our community that are innocent and don't have the means to help themselves. So we feel like it's just a small commitment that we can make as a community bank to help these people that just need the attention from someone to help them get over the hump or the problem that they're facing. Hancock's goal in helping CASA with the children that are involved is to give them the assistance they need to become independent and to become safe. It's trying times for everyone right now. Nobody's comfortable in the situation that we're in, but I feel like that it's important for people who are in their position to step up and help organizations like CASA during these times more than ever, because they don't have the ability to go out and show you like they normally would all the good they're doing for our community. Children are probably more at risk now because of not having structural schools and other events that they could go to, and CASA can fill a void and help with that. So it's important for us to not let down, to not give up. In fact, we need to go harder and stronger because there's more of a need now than there's ever been. In the future, I think CASA will help children in the same manner they've done in the past, but as you build the foundation of children that have been helped by CASA, then that's additional stories, that's additional support that you can provide to the children that are coming up in the same situations. So for us, it really is truly an investment in a way to rectify a situation that a child has been placed in, and to provide that support for them, let them get independent. And then hopefully these kids will go back and help the other kids who have been put in the same situation they themselves were put in. I think it's important to find out with any organization that you volunteer for what that organization is about. CASA is a top-notch organization. They do great works, and they have a proven track record that you can look at. So I think it's important to look at what they've done, but also get involved with them. There's a couple of events that they sponsor every year with Boogie Down Bourbon Street and Superhero 5K that we feel is a perfect example for you to go out. It doesn't require much of your time, doesn't require much money, and you can see the wonderful things that CASA is doing. And if you really want to have a good idea, go to the South Central Kentucky CASA webpage. Look at the testimonials of some of the volunteers in the past. Look at the work that they've done with these children. You'll probably shed a tear. I know I did the first time I went to the website. But our children are important to us. They are our future. We have to make that investment. And I think if you go and listen to the volunteers, the real life examples that they can provide of real children, real individuals in this community whom we have helped, you will see the value of this organization.
Well, we are just getting started. We've got so much more to come. But right now, we want to give a shout out to our Gold Power sponsors, Atala Plastic Surgery Skin and Laser and VidMonster Productions.
At Atala Plastic Surgery, we are a proud sponsor of CASA of South Central Kentucky. Dr. Floyd Atala and Peggy, as well as Dr. Dernan, truly believe in this cause to help vulnerable children in our community. At Atala Plastic Surgery Skin and Laser, we offer a variety of all things for your skin, including injectables and laser services. Our board-certified plastic surgeons offer cosmetic surgeries, as well as reconstruction procedures and in-office procedures. We hope to see you soon. And CASA, let's boogie down.
Every single person on our team has a very special creative ability.
To be able to do it with the people that I do it with is pretty awesome.
Just seeing the evolution, those next steps that we keep taking.
We have the opportunity to be so creative on so many different levels.
I love the look of surprise.
We work together and make something that is amazing for each and every one of our clients.
It's truly remarkable. I like helping companies create magic.
I get to be part of a collaborative effort that dreams out loud.
Remember, vision with action can change the world.
It looks like that led you to the right location. Your small business loan has been approved.
Hancock Bank and Trust is here to guide you.
To make a donation to CASA of South Central Kentucky, text the word CHILD to 270-449-0853. Welcome back to CASA of South Central Kentucky's Boogie Down Bourbon Street 2021 Virtual Edition, presented by Hancock Bank and Trust.
Well, we are just getting warmed up here for Boogie Down Bourbon Street. Jana, we are only $10,000 away from our fundraising goal tonight. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel great. I know that our community will come together and help us reach that goal, absolutely.
Does it surprise you that a virtual event was this successful so far?
You know, a little bit, but I know how great South Central Kentucky is, and I know that they step up for the children that need them.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk a little bit more about those children. How do we get more volunteers to help you in the mission of CASA?
Yeah, so I always encourage people, check out our website, our Facebook page. You know, what we do is so confidential that sometimes it's really hard to dig into what we do, but you know, we reach out to our office. We really want to reach that goal of 5 new volunteers for this weekend.
And you can also follow us right now on the screen. You can follow us on Facebook Live. Make sure to share this broadcast. Tell everybody you know about the mission of CASA and what we're doing here to make a difference. Speaking of making a difference, we've got someone very special we'd like to showcase. Tell us about her.
Absolutely. So our Margaret Ryan Huddleston Guardian Ad Litem of the Year, Meg Alexander. She is an attorney in Barron County who does a lot of great work with the same kids that we work with. A Guardian Ad Litem represents the child's legal rights. So want to hear from Meg.
Very important to the mission of CASA, very important to us. We're going to give it up right now for the CASA Guardian Ad Litem of the Year.
I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. I did a lot of time in juvenile court before the systems all changed over to how they are now. I had a period of time that I did not practice law. I was able to stay home with my children, spent a lot of time volunteering and working in their schools. So when I first went back to work, I was primarily a guardian ad litem because so many of the kids in the system were kids I had at school. We take the role of guardian ad litem very seriously. We all spend a lot of time and work really hard trying to ensure the safety of these children. I spend a lot of time talking to kids. I think it's important for me to build relationships with them. My goal for every child is for them to have a safe environment, for them to feel valued and loved. One problem I see so many times with kids in the system is that they don't feel like anybody cares about them as an individual. They are just part of the system. I want these children to believe that even if this court case closes, they can contact me and I will do what I can to help them, because so many of these kids have never had an adult who wants the best for them, who considers them first. And I just feel like it's a really important thing for us to do, to try to make sure that they understand that we'll be there to support them throughout the process. CASA is important to the community because these children are our future. And if we don't help now and we don't fix the problems that we're seeing now, we're just perpetuating a generational problem that increases each generation. So it's critically important for us to get involved with these children and do everything that we can. When it is utilized correctly, and when you have a well-trained CASA worker, that worker means the world to me as a guardian ad litem, because it's somebody who can do things that I don't have time to do. They can make all the connections. They can talk to the teachers, talk to the foster parents, talk to the parents, and bring me back a report that tells me what I need to do as far as my role. CASA workers are the people who can kind of make sure that the glue holds together as you work through the system. Anyone who's willing to learn and who cares about kids and who cares about the future of our community, I think it's a wonderful place to put your volunteer hours. Working with CASA can be an extremely rewarding experience.
The Child Fatality and Near Fatality External Review Panel has named Kentucky as leading in child abuse for the third straight year. Substance abuse was one of the most common factors, appearing in just under 50% of all cases. CASA serves as a voice for these children in family court. We provide support, advocacy, and intervention for abused, neglected, and dependent children. CASA volunteers ensure that each child's individual needs remain a priority in an overburdened child welfare system. Volunteers advocate for their child through the child welfare system, family court, and attorneys that serve Warren, Barron, Hart, and Metcalfe counties. By using trained community volunteers as advocates for these abused and neglected children, we can prevent them from being further abused by a system that should be protecting them. To learn how you can give a child a voice and become a CASA volunteer, visit casaofsk.org/volunteer.
We're about halfway through our broadcast, but we still need your help. Make sure you text the number on the screen and engage with us tonight. We also want to make sure that we give a shout out to our Gold Power sponsors, Faulkner Insurance and Halton Company. We'll be right back after this.
CASA would like to thank Faulkner Insurance and Halton Company for their support. To learn how you can become a volunteer, visit casaofsk.org.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Welcome back to CASA of South Central Kentucky's Boogie Down Bourbon Street 2021 Virtual Edition, presented by Hancock Bank and Trust.
Jana, we continue to make a huge difference tonight with Boogie Down Bourbon Street. We've got a lot of work left to go. Tell us what a day in the life of the volunteers look like and what they mean to you.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding what exactly CASA does, because what we do is so confidential, working with children. But you know, one of the main things about being a CASA is that you need to have a passion for children and wanting to help them. You are a voice for a child that has been abused and neglected, and that is now part of the foster care system. And so being able to report back to the judge, you know, your findings and what this child wants is so important. It really is. And, especially right now with what we're seeing, the challenging times of the pandemic and COVID, we need more volunteers. So I encourage you to find out more about what we do in the process.
Jana, we have a special volunteer we'd like to spotlight tonight. Tell us what's so unique about her.
Yeah, so Donna Sims is one of our 89 volunteer advocates that we have. She lives in Hart County, and she is a full-time teacher. A lot of times people think that you have to be retired, but Donna's awesome. And she, we joke around about wanting to clone her. She's the epitome of the perfect volunteer.
Well, speaking of the perfect volunteer, we're going to spotlight Donna Sims right now. This is CASA's Volunteer Advocate of the Year.
I've worked with kids for years. I've worked with them most of my adult life, and never ceased to amaze me. Never ceased to amaze me. And I'm so fortunate to have been a part of so many children's lives over the years as an educator and now with CASA. When I was notified that I was the Volunteer of the Year, I was very humbled. I never look for recognition. However, this particular program, I'm overjoyed because if I can stand out in the community as a role model for the CASA program, as a role model for possible volunteers that are thinking about people that want to do this and don't know what to do, I'm absolutely humbled and very proud. To date, I've had 4 cases. The case to me that has stood out the most is a set of siblings, a set of girls that had been subjected to horrific physical and sexual abuse. The oldest girl had been sexually abused for several years. The older girl felt as if the 2 younger girls were the next target. And she took it upon herself to run away. She found help. And of course, thank God, the girls were removed immediately and have been in foster care for several years now. We have a friendship and we see each other monthly and we write letters to each other and we stay in contact. We've celebrated birthdays and I am very much looking forward to the day that they are all adopted. For future children, CASA means just the promise. It's a promise that we're going to continue to be there. In the world we live in, there will always be bad things happen to people, adults and children. CASA is going to allow us to be there when those bad things happen. CASA is something that you need to check into. You need to look into it, reach out, find a CASA volunteer, reach out to me, reach out to the CASA organization, and just do it. Just do it. I want those girls to grow up and look back and say, wow, Miss Donna, I don't know what I would do if I hadn't met Miss Donna. I want to be their advocate, their superhero, their person that they know I've got their back no matter what. That's what makes me Volunteer of the Year. It's no one else that's given me a title. It's those girls. They make me Volunteer of the Year.
To make a donation to CASA of South Central Kentucky, text the word CHILD to 270-449-0853 or go to the donation tab on boogiedownbourbonstreet.com. Donations can be made throughout Mardi Gras weekend.
COVID has changed how everyone does business, including CASA. Because of the pandemic, children going through hardship need us even more. Because of this, CASA of South Central Kentucky made the move to digital so you can still do the much-needed work in our community. When COVID-19 hit our office, we decided to hold Zoom roundtables to deal with these issues. The first was with our advocates to do some creative brainstorming on how to tackle the challenges of advocating for our kids at a distance. The second was with social workers to discuss the impact of COVID-19 from the social worker's perspective and how we can work together to serve the children. But most important of all, we moved all our training to an online setting. For children who have been abused and neglected, CASA means having a home, being a priority instead of feeling invisible, having someone speak up for them when they can't speak for themselves. For volunteers, CASA is a life-changing experience that impacts our community and makes it a better place.
CASA would like to thank Enterprise for supporting this year's Boogie Down Bourbon Street. To learn how you can become a volunteer, visit casaofsck.org. Welcome back to CASA of South Central Kentucky's Boogie Down Bourbon Street 2021 Virtual Edition, presented by Hancock Bank and Trust.
Jana, we've been going through an unprecedented year, but I want to congratulate you and everybody involved on all the accomplishments you've been able to pull together for CASA.
Absolutely. Well, it's a team effort. I have a wonderful staff of 5 other people that are digging in the trenches and assisting our advocates, our 89 advocates. And, you know, we've pivoted from in-person to Zooms to back to in-person, and we also have a wonderful board of 18 people with so many different wonderful talents that they bring to our mission, and they bring energy, and that's one of the main reasons we're here tonight is because of them.
This event meant so much to them.
Absolutely.
They weren't going to let it go away, not even for a year.
No, and that's why we're here. This is to honor them. So
most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear from all of the board of CASA what this event means to them and what CASA does for their life.
On behalf of the Boogie Down Bourbon Street Planning Committee, we hope you've enjoyed our program.
We knew we were faced with a difficult decision when we began planning this event. We started with Plan A, moved to Plan B, then to Plan C, and arrived at Plan D with the help of our creative friends at WNKY and Big Monster. We would also like to take this time to sincerely thank our committed sponsors who consistently help bring our vision to fruition.
If you were already familiar with CASA, we hope you learned something new. And if you are brand new to hearing of CASA's mission, we hope you are motivated to join our mission of helping the vulnerable children in our area.
If you are interested in learning more about CASA or interested in becoming a volunteer, please reach out to our office at 270-782-5353 or contact one of our board members. Don't forget to like us on Facebook for the latest CASA happenings.
We absolutely hated not being able to host you for our normal Boogie Down Bourbon Street live and silent auction, but we are already looking forward to next year where we promise to bring back the beads, bourbon, and boogieing.
Please share CASA's mission with your friends and family. We appreciate your continued support throughout the year. Without people like you, we cannot do what we do. Thanks again, and let's get this good time roll.
We have over 60 kids on the CASA waiting list, and we need you to step up. Please sign up and volunteer today. We also want to give a big shout out to our Gold Power sponsors, Graves Gilbert Clinic and WNKY Television.
Graves Gilbert Clinic is the largest independent physician group in South Central Kentucky. We pride ourselves with over 80 years of service, more than 200 providers, and offer 30 medical specialties. Each one of our providers is dedicated to serving their communities throughout Southern Kentucky. Graves Gilbert Clinic. Let our family take care of your family.
In 2020, 107 active CASA volunteers advocated for 244 abused, neglected, or dependent children. Because of them, each of those children had a voice representing their best interest going into family court. 59% worked full-time jobs, and 53% were over 50. But what they all had in common was wanting to be the voice for abused children who needed them most. And with more than 60 children currently on the CASA of South Central Kentucky waitlist, we need even more people like them. As an advocate, CASA will give you all the tools needed to best represent your child. In return, we ask that you will be willing to donate 6 to 10 hours of your time each month to your case. That includes attending training sessions and court hearings a couple of times per year. CASA volunteers come from every walk of life and share a commitment to improving children's lives, a willingness to learn, and an open mind towards life experiences different from their own. No special education, experience, or background is needed. To learn how you can give a child a voice and become a CASA volunteer, visit casaofsck.org/volunteer.
WNKY 40 News is committed to covering local stories that matter to you.
With weather coverage you and your family can count on.
And in-depth local sports stories from across South Central Kentucky.
WNKY 40 News, weeknights at 5 and 6, because local matters.
Jana, we have had so much fun with you for Boogie Down Bourbon Street. We can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, it's been a blast, and I'm looking forward to 2022 when we can be back in person for just boogieing on down Bourbon Street, right?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's do it. But until then, I ask everyone, our community, our region, to not forget about the children that need your voice in the court system. We've got over 60 kids, like we said, on our wait list right now that need an advocate, that need a voice, a powerful voice, and you can be that. There's, again, give, volunteer. You could end up being our Volunteer Advocate of the Year next year or our community partner. That could be you.
Once again, we want to give a big shout out to our Gold Power sponsors and our Purple Justice presenting sponsor, Hancock Bank. Jana, 2021 Boogie Down on Bourbon Street's been great, but 2022 is going to be even better. Until then, we'll continue to show our love and support for all the kids and CASA.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, Jana.
CASA would like to thank all our Gold Power, Green Faith, and Purple Justice sponsors. Thank you for making this year possible. To learn how you can become a volunteer, visit casaofsck.org.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.